Today's podcast episode is inspired by a real conversation I had with one of our coaching students just yesterday. He called in. We were coach on call that day, and he was curious. He's starting to make some real money as a loan originator, and he was curious how he could diversify his investments. He wanted to hear from me where I put my money. Where did I win? Where did I lose? What would I do all over again? And what lessons did I learn? Well, that conversation with Kelly was so good that I thought we shouldn't just keep it to Kelly. Let's go ahead and make an entire episode out of it. So we're going to do that. You're going to hear today how I turned 60 into 900. You can hear where I'm currently investing my money, where I've lost hundreds of thousands of dollars, and more importantly, where I'm looking to put my money in the future. All ways that loan originators can take the income they earn and diversify it, whether it's in industry or out of industry. And don't worry, if you're a loan originator who's still a Henry, that means you're high energy, not rich yet. This episode will mean more to you because it gives you something to look forward to. When you start closing those loans, funding that volume, and making that money, this will be some of the things that you can do with said money. Check this out. They don't teach this shit in school, but they should. Welcome to the Loan Officer Podcast, hosted by me, Dustin Owen, one of the most influential people in the mortgage industry, along with my friends who've lived it, built it, failed at it, fixed it, and scaled it. This is not a show just for mortgage professionals. This is everything I learned because I became a mortgage loan originator. This is the Loan Officer Podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children 18 plus, you are tuned in to the Loan Officer Podcast with me, Dustin Owen, and with me from the TLOP team, I got with me my right-hand man, Marketing Mike, and our producer extraordinaire, Special K, Miss Karina Mojica. What's up, y'all?
What's happening?
Oh, I'm loving this. We just crushed an episode with Josh Bott from Aduvo.
Nice.
We're getting closer and closer to the TLOP Unite Caribbean Takeover event.
Let's go.
Yeah, I'm pumped. Like, Josh and I just got back from lunch.
Yeah.
And we were talking about the event because they're a big sponsor, and Lindsay from his team is going to be on there. But then I started going through like all the people that are part of this event.
Yep.
Right? Like Don with Momentum Builder is going to be on the boat.
Huge.
Our friends from Mortgage Con are going to be a part of the event.
Love those guys.
Right? First Home IQ, and we have Trust Engine, which is Mortgage Coach. Like, they're a part of this event. And then obviously our sponsors, Hoper and Redder,
Milestone,
and Milestone Mortgage Solutions, and Video
Desk.
Yes. I mean, we're doing it, right?
Yes.
Like, we are absolutely doing it. I think at this standpoint, if you're tuning in and you made it this far, we probably have a handful of cabins left before we're totally out of our reserved allotment.
Correct.
Come check out the event. It's super affordable. It'll be the coolest, most fun event. All you have to do is go to our website, tloponline.com, and check out the Unite event. That's where you want to click, Unite, and you can see what we're talking about. But that's not why you showed up today, right? They didn't show up today to hear us pitch this awesome Caribbean Takeover event.
No, we're not selling today.
No, we're not selling today.
Not today.
We teased them.
Yep.
We're going to talk about some investments. I'm going to get nitty-gritty with you guys.
I'm excited.
And this is cool because it was actually a conversation Mike and I were having one-on-one.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, would you ever think about like talking about why you bought SpaceX, or, you know, talk about that insurance agency you once owned, or, you know, Mike loves me to tell the fat merchant story.
I love that story, yeah.
And, you know, we'll get into that story as well. And I'm like, Mike, it's funny you asked.
Yep.
Because I was just coach on call, right? If you're a member of our coaching community, you know what coach on call means. If you're not a member of our coaching community, well, look, sorry about your luck, but you're kind of in the dark. But Coach on Call is your opportunity to get one-on-one with me or one of my coaches. We're available every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So Kelly, who's been a member, he's OG, he's up in Wilmington, North Carolina. Shout out to Kelly. Kelly uses Coach on Call, and he slides in. He's like, yo, what's up, D.O.? And he's like showing off his new pool that he just built with all the money that he's making from being an LO. Nice. Kelly, by the way, is that Lower Mortgage.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah.
Shout out Lower.
I actually helped Kelly get his opportunity at Lower.
Sweet.
So Kelly's been there going on 2 years now. He's having his best year. He's making great money, building new pools. And he said, look, I got to tell you, man, I'm crushing it. Things are going great at Lower, making great money. Just built this awesome pool. Can't wait to get my hot guy summer on, right? And if you know that. Kelly, you'll know what I'm talking about.
I love that.
He's like, but man, I gotta find a place to diversify this money.
Right.
He's like,
he give it to me.
Yeah, right? Yeah. So anyhow, you're asking me questions and wanting to do a podcast episodes about like why I bought as many shares of SpaceX as I did, or you want me to talk about the Fat Merchant story.
Yes.
I got Kelly asking me. I'm like, you know what? That's the episode.
I love this.
So that's what we're going to get into. We'll probably get into it right after this quick break so we can hear from today's show sponsor. Check this out.
TLOP Unite is not your typical mortgage event. This is the first ever TLOP cruise experience built exclusively for originators. And for 4 days, it's not about the speakers, it's about you. We're talking breakout strategy sessions, real conversations, curated events, and uninterrupted access to a community that helps you grow. If you're serious about taking your career to the next level, this is where you need to be. Space is limited and the price is right. So click the link now and learn more.
All right, so we're back. And I'm going to ask you, Mike, like knowing everything that we just rambled on, where do you want me to start?
I think we should start with the Fat Merchant story because I worked at a marketing agency. It was one of my first jobs maybe 10 years ago, and I actually had my hands on that project. So that's where we had a connection. When you told me that you were one of the investors, one of the early investors in this company, we built the whole front end for their kind of, user-facing website that they would do marketing through. They would funnel all the traffic into this website to convert. Yeah, having my hands on it and hearing that you invested in it, I was familiar with the exit. I knew that it was a fat exit for Fat Merchant.
Unicorn.
Yeah, it was a unicorn. I mean, let's hear about it.
Okay, so
what happened?
And I like that you want to start with Fat Merchant because this is in chronological order.
Yep.
Like this was one of my first big swings.
Yep.
And y'all, I got lucky. Closed my eyes, swung really hard, hit a grand slam.
Right.
But there's lessons to be learned.
Right.
Right. Because the simple math is this. I had an opportunity to invest in a tech startup based in Orlando, and my investment, I was a part of a group, but my take was going to be 20 grand.
Okay.
So I put in 20 grand.
Yep.
And then less than a year later, they were going from angel to their A series. And if you know anything about startups, that's a big deal. Mm-hmm. You go angel, then you go A. Some people never make it past angel.
Right.
And then after A, you go B, B goes C, and eventually you either go public or you get taken out by some kind of a larger venture capital.
Private.
Yeah.
Acquisition. Yep.
And that's honestly what happened is like we ultimately got taken out by a larger institution that wanted to clear the cap table. But they had to pay us what our investment was worth at the time, and the company had grown a lot in those 5 years. So it started with this. I'm 37 years old at the time, so it's probably 10 years ago.
2 years older than me.
Than you are now.
Yeah.
No, 2 years. Yeah, 2 years older than you are now.
Right.
But you'll have to remember, I survived the crash of the mortgage market.
Right.
And that was 2007, 2008.
Yeah.
Any little bit of money that I had saved, I ran through in 2009. So in 2010, I'm starting over brand new.
Right.
Right. I have no money in my savings account, no money in a retirement account. Like I'm living paycheck to paycheck. It's 2010.
Yeah.
But what I was able to do is obviously work really hard, get out there and network, generate leads, and close loans. And I did so while also building a branch. So now I'm making money not just as a loan officer, but as a branch operator. Mm-hmm. And that was also because we were bringing immense value to our loan originators. So our loan originators loved working for us because we helped them make more money. And that's kind of how a business operates. So I start making good money again. And I don't like talking about money openly. I'll talk about it in private all day long. Or if you ask me the question, I'll answer it. But let's just say I was probably making $250,000, $300,000 a year starting in 2012.
Okay.
Right? 2011, 2012.
Fair.
And the income only grew from there.
Yeah.
And it grew every year all the way through 2019, 2020, 2021. There were some dips. Like 2018 wasn't a great year. I probably made less in 2019 than I did in 2016. But for the most part, just know the money grew. Yeah. Well, unlike a derelict, when my money started growing, I was like, I don't need this lifestyle. And because I lived through the crash, in my mind, I've been waiting for the other shoe to fall since 2012. Like I remember 2012, And let's say I made 275 grand. And back then, like 180 grand a year was a ton of money. And it still is. But like that was like, if I could make 180, I'm living large. So I'm making 275. Well, I'm living off of 180. So that means I'm just banking that money. I'm no credit card debt, 6 months reserve, eventually let it up to 12 months reserve, maxing out my 401k, maxing out an IRA, doing the Roth conversion, and having extra money.
Yeah.
I didn't go and buy a big fancy house. Like the house that I bought in 2012 is still the house I live in today.
Right.
I didn't go buy a second home, a vacation home, a fancy car. I did drive a Porsche Cayenne for about 8 years.
There you go.
Even that, I bought that thing with 30,000 miles on it.
Yeah.
If I spent any money, my money was spent on experiences, nice, fun, adventurous vacations.
But
with
you
my
skewed
family.
conservative
Yeah.
overall.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because the whole time I'm waiting for the other shoe to fall.
Right.
So I'm just like, God, give me 1 more year. Give me 2 more years. Oh my God, if I could just have 2 more years,
Yeah.
like I could be set for good. And to me, set for good was like, again, maybe having a small college savings fund for my kids, maybe having no credit card debt, whatever the case may be. So by doing that, and you got to think in 2012, I was about 34. So then 35, then 36, and 37. Now I'm 37. I'm 4 or 5 years into this mindset. Well, I could afford to lose 20 grand.
And that's what I was going to say. So 2
Yes.
questions, right? Because I'm the audience.
Okay.
I'm the audience. I have some cash coming in right now. Obviously I'm an operator. You know that. So I operate my own investments. But the first question is, what percentage of your, not net worth, but of your liquid cash was that 20,000 at the time? At the time.
Oh, okay.
So like if I'm an LO
Yeah.
and I'm like, how much money do I have on hand? How much should I put into some sort of random investment that, and my second question is, who brought the opportunity to you?
Love
how
it.
much am I going to put into who Joe Schmo or my wealth advisor or brought to me?
Yeah. Okay. Great question. So if I were to guess, liquid to me means it's not home equity.
Okay.
It's not 401k.
Correct.
It's not IRA.
Yep, correct.
It's truly either sitting in my checking and savings or sitting in this small little E-Trade account I have.
Straight up liquid. Yep.
I probably had about 100 to 120. So I took 20 of the 120.
Cool.
So roughly 18%.
Yeah, cool.
So 18% at 37 years of age.
Yeah.
I was like, yep, I'm going to go ahead and put my money up.
Yeah.
Now, we only got this opportunity because the founder, and shout out to Sunira, she's been on the show actually, go
Yes.
back 3-4 years ago.
Cool.
Sunira was in her 30s and she's of Middle Eastern descent, and she's cool as shit, by the way. And she said straight up, I don't want nothing but old white guys investing in my company. Right? Like
You never told me that. That's awesome.
Like straight up, no. So she was friends with this
Nice.
guy that I had known, and this guy was a client of hers.
Yeah.
We shared the same leasing agent.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so Aaron was my leasing agent. Aaron was her leasing agent, and she said to Aaron, "You're cool, you're hip, your friends are cool and hip. It matters more to me that people from our demographic and our circle get to invest in this."
Yep.
She didn't have a problem raising money.
Yeah.
But she earmarked a small sliver for us to come in at.
Cool.
So I got the opportunity from Aaron. Now, you know how I met Aaron? In an elevator.
Really?
Yes, y'all
Wow.
know me. I smile and say hi to everybody. I smiled and said hi to Aaron one day. He was in my elevator at my office. I made some probably smart alecky comment to him, which he replied back smart alecky.
Yeah.
I realized that he was a commercial real estate agent. And it just so happened that I was looking for a commercial real estate agent. I was trying to move from the 4th floor to the 6th floor. He's like, "Hey, you want to grab lunch?" He's doing his job. He's trying to sell me. I'm like, "Yeah, I'll go
Right.
grab lunch with you." Well, that relationship led to he and I grabbing beers once a quarter just to catch up on life and business, talk shop a little bit. And then he said to me one day, "Hey, I got this opportunity. I'm raising some money. Would you want to be a part of it?" And I was like, "Yeah, man. Like,
Yeah.
I'll throw 20 grand at this. Like, walk me through the thought process. Walk me through the risk. Walk me through the reward." And when he did, I was like, "Yeah, man, I got 20 grand to lose." And that was my mindset. I got 20 grand to lose.
And it was a wild idea too, because we didn't fill the audience in on this. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Fat Merchant was a payment processor, right?
Yes.
For businesses, but the processing fees were like in the 1% range, which was unheard of.
Yeah, think it was Uber
Yeah.
for merchant services.
Correct.
That's all you have to know. They
was
were the
awesome.
first to say, we're going to go monthly. We're going to go subscription, and we're going to do it better and cheaper than all of the old companies.
And they did.
That basically operated like old school long distance companies.
And they were so disruptive that's why they were acquired.
Yep. So once we did it, they obviously took off, right? And they were taking off whether we invested our money or not. Let's be 100%. Honest. But as they took off, I then get the opportunity to put more money in.
Yep.
Well, I said yes again. Now, again, a year had passed, so maybe my 120 was now 160.
Did the financials look good on the second round of investment, or like were they running debt, or?
So I have learned when it comes to that, you invest in the jockey, not the horse.
Yeah.
And you also look where the smart people are putting their money. Mm-hmm. I mean, the people I was hanging out with were really smart, really successful, and they're putting the money in here.
Yeah, and said,
I was like,
let's go.
I got this. You also, when you study that industry, here's what you learn. There's a book value. So I run every decision based on this. What's worst case and how quickly can I get comfortable with it?
Yeah.
Okay. Once I get comfortable with worst case, then I full steam ahead and I expect.
And worst case was you lose the money.
Correct. But honestly, worst case was the company fails.
Yeah. But
there was a value to their book of business and you could sell that book of business.
Yeah.
So I thought my worst case was actually I'd get half my money back.
Cool.
So anyhow, that was it. But my decision was, yes, I got 20 grand to lose. Then when I had the opportunity to triple up, I went ahead and tripled up.
Yep.
And then 5 years later, How
much was the exit?
Oh,
like not how much money, but
no, not. I mean,
you do the math.
My 60 came back to me as 900. Right. So my 60 came in as 900. So now I'm playing with house money.
Yeah.
And don't worry, we're going to talk now about how I lost some of that house money.
Yeah.
Right. But I think the thought process for loan originators was this: I didn't do this with money I didn't have. Mm-hmm. I had no credit card debt. I had my 6 months reserves. I was maxing out 401k and I was maxing out my IRA.
Well, you went 18% roughly. What did you say? Of liquid.
Of liquid. Like,
right.
And I don't consider my 401k, my IRA liquid.
No, that's
because I can't touch them without penalty.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Let's look at liquid. So.
Yeah, just liquid. It was 18-20% of what I had liquid.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool. So, all right. That's a lot of fat merchant.
I know.
Like we talked about a lot of fat. I'm sorry. That's because I'm familiar with it.
Yeah,
I think that's
and
why.
By the way, if you want to look them up today, they're Stacks, STAXX.
Yes, Stacks, that's right.
Yeah, so they got purchased.
20.
It was a weird. Yeah, it was a 2020, 2021. Yeah. It was a weird like situation, one I'm not overly familiar with, but the company Fat Merchant's no longer around. It's now called Stacks. Yeah. And I'm pretty confident that Sunir and her brother Sal are totally bought out because they now have their second project they're working on.
They are.
That they're trying to take unicorn status as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, cool. So real estate investment company, I know wasn't a Cinderella story like Fat Merchant.
Yeah, look, real estate investment was always something that I felt like...
Which is weird because you're in the mortgage industry.
Yeah, well, you know what's interesting? You mean the mortgage industry, but you've never run a real estate investment or real estate development company. Now, the good news is when I look at it, I bet we're at a net break even as a company.
Yeah.
Right? Over a 6-year period of time.
Okay.
You learn a lot of things. So I felt like real estate investment played really well into what I was doing because I'm a lender. I understand finance. I have a lot of connections to the real estate market. It wasn't foreign to me. So it was definitely a really nice parallel that you could run off of. But what I learned the hard way was flipping homes is a sucker's game.
So this was flipping?
Well, we did it all, dude.
Yeah, you were holding too?
We flipped.
Yeah.
We wholesaled.
Yeah.
We assigned contracts. We
the wholesaling business is tricky.
It's dirty. We did spec builds.
Yeah, cool.
And we did buy and hold.
Wow.
Now the learning opportunity, and you got to think, I've done over 100 transactions now through that company. Mm-hmm. Now I say I've had partners, we've had employees, we've had staff. I mean, at one time, our marketing budget alone was $30,000 a month.
Yeah.
Right. Our marketing
you had to go
budget
in heavy.
Yeah, because it was a volume game.
Which piece failed? Like what segment?
Fix and flip.
Fix and flip?
Fix and flip.
Wow.
Anyone who has any experience would tell you fix and flip is a sucker's game.
Wow.
But you tend to use fix and flip as your way to churn revenue. Then you use that revenue to dump back into ad spend, and you're trying to cherry pick your buy and holds.
Was it timing though?
Timing.
Okay.
Yes. I mean,
right.
we're going to hear timing.
We're going to time probably a lot.
This entire thing, right?
Yeah.
Like I've done plenty of other angel investments, and I've literally gotten a K1 for negative $25,000 because it didn't hit.
Yeah.
Right. And I got another negative $25,000 K1 because it didn't hit.
Do you guys
Timing worked
even though you had the real estate investment company, do you guys do separate LLCs for every property you were buying?
No.
I know that's pretty granular.
Yeah,
but
that's getting super granular.
Yeah.
The answer is yes and no.
Okay.
Yes and no. Yes, it's a best practice. Currently, we don't have enough properties under management.
Got it.
Yeah. So we were 3 dudes that were learning as we grow.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we had bought a Home Investors franchise. We had then got out of the Home Investors franchise. We had hired coaches. Those coaches made us better. I mean, we did everything that we needed to do. But what truly happened was 2022 happened.
Yeah.
Right. 2022, 2023 happened.
Wild.
And even during COVID, you're talking about supply chain issues.
Yeah.
And now
Prices were.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
So the lessons that I learned that I can share with people is this. I think real estate investment is a good investment, but I like it for wealth building and I like it for buy and hold.
Yeah.
You make money in real estate when you buy it, not when you sell it. And we knew that going in, but every mistake we made was because we bought a home outside of the formula. Like the math don't lie. Math tells you straight up if you're going to fix and flip, or even if you're going to burr it, right? You're going to buy it, you're going to rehab it, then you're going to rent it, then you're going to refinance it, right? Then you're going to repeat it. Like that's the burr methodology. You still got to be able to buy the home at such a deep discount that allows you to have the built-in equity to cover the repairs, to do the refinance, to take money out, and then to rent it.
Yeah.
So we were a product of a little bit of a perfect storm where we got out, what is it called? You get out in front of your skis.
Yeah.
So, we got the big team, we got the big staff, we're spending $30,000 a month. We're acquiring properties, but we're getting too aggressive. Instead of buying something at a 65% ARV, which stands for after repair value, we're buying at 70 and 75.
Yep.
Instead of buying homes that were between 150 and 350, we're starting to buy homes that are 450 and 650. Everything that we are advised not to do, we're getting impatient and we're doing.
And because the market was forcing you to, right?
The market was forcing it.
Yeah.
Yep. And we had built this mega machine that we had to feed.
Right.
And a thing or two, any entrepreneur knows about having to feed the machine.
Oh, yeah.
So we're having to feed the machine and we're doing some contract assignments and we're definitely wholesaling some properties, but we learned early, man, that's a dirty game that we don't want to play in. So we have a couple rentals now. We have pared everything down. We don't have the admin. We don't have the team. The LLC is still around. It's still functional. We still file our taxes. We still collect rent from our rentals.
Yeah.
But I can't tell you it was a win at this standpoint because what we didn't do that we, in hindsight, should have done, had we, A, stayed within our buy box, and B, had we burred or retained the homes, I'd be sitting on $5 million of assets, $2.5 million of equity.
Big difference.
Today, that was cash flowing.
Yep.
It wouldn't be cash flowing a lot, but it'd be cash flowing probably about $6 or $8 grand a month.
Yeah.
Right. Just enough that we can keep the business afloat, keep an admin person fully staffed.
Yep.
But we would have had these rentals where we're gaining equity through property appreciation and through principal reduction.
Yeah.
We had too many projects going on at one time. We paid too much for them. It then took too long to get the properties fixed up and resold. And by the time we went to resell them, the market turned.
Yep.
Now we're selling them all for a 10% discount.
It's terrible. Yeah.
And we didn't factor in that 10% discount. So all of a sudden, 9 properties we had to liquidate over 12 months. And we didn't make a dime on all of them. Then you factor in we had this big $30,000 a month burn rate. By the way, you don't unwind that overnight.
Right.
That takes 3 to 6 months to unwind. So we licked our wounds, we licked our chops. I can't tell you I've made any money in real estate investment, but I can tell you this. I know exactly now how to make money in real estate. I know what to do, how to do it, why to stay away from certain things. So I'm not disappointed with our results. For me, it's just I spent a lot of money to get my 4-year education from UCF. This was just another 4-year education that's made me better, stronger, and ready to capitalize once my partners and I decide it's timing again, it's time to re-enter.
And it was bad timing. I mean, let's go back. Like it was bad timing when you went in. So
yes, and we didn't listen to our mentors, and we should have. Yeah.
So,
but we're not disappointed. We learned a ton, and we're sitting in a good spot. So it's now we're just kind of waiting for timing to come back our way.
Yeah. No, I hear it.
Or the right opportunity to come across our desk.
What about the homeowners insurance agency?
Homeowners insurance agency.
So, because that's really cool. Like, you would think maybe that would be pretty profitable.
Yeah, look, for all the mortgage lenders tuning in, like we have to keep in mind, what would it be like if we owned a homeowners insurance agency?
Yeah.
So when I travel the country, especially speaking at colleges, which I love to do, anyone who's affiliated with like large institutions, colleges, universities, like let me know. I'm trying to do more and more of this.
Yeah.
But the question always comes up, what's one of your biggest business mistakes you've ever made?
Yeah.
Like college kids love asking it. And I'm like, man, there are so many mistakes. I can't remember them all. And they all teach you something. So is it really a mistake if you're getting a lesson out of it? But the one I give them, it's a twofold mistake.
Loan officers, if 2026 is going to be your breakout year, this matters. Most originators don't struggle because of rates. They struggle because they don't have systems, structure, or accountability. I'm Coach Christy with TLOP's Originator Coaching. Originator Launch is a 16-week small group coaching program designed to help you build a real business, not just close the next loan. You'll get weekly live coaching, proven scripts used by top producers, real accountability, homework that actually moves the needle, and 2 private one-on-one calls with your coach. This program is capped at just 10 originators, so the attention is personal and the results are real. This isn't a course you watch. It's coaching you execute. If you're ready to stop guessing and start building with intention, apply now. Spots are limited, and once they're gone, enrollment closes. Register today.
The first mistake is I didn't open an insurance agency in 2012.
Yeah.
If my partners, Dave and Mike, and I had opened up an insurance agency in 2012, then by 2022, that thing would have been worth several $1 million.
Were you allowed to feed it? If you,
yes.
Yeah, you could have fed it.
Yes.
Wow.
Think about this. We were growing and building and running a mortgage operation that was pumping out 2,000 loans a year.
Yep.
2,000 loans a year, the number of policies we could have captured.
Oh my goodness.
And then cross-sold the homeowners insurance into auto insurance.
Yeah.
Like it would have been worth millions to us. So look, that's called an opportunity mistake. Now, if I followed it up, what's the mistake that I made? We opened an insurance agency in 2022. So 2012 would have been a perfect time. Any year between 2012 and 2016 actually would have worked too.
Yeah.
Right? Anything 2016 to 2019, I think would have been an average return for us. Anything 2019 and after wasn't a good idea. We opened an insurance agency in 2022. Look, the company we are working for, they're not growing. They're still not growing.
Yeah.
Like you look at their data, they're growing backwards. Like they're unwinding. They've peaked and they're starting to unwind. We knew that they were no longer growing and unwinding in 2019. We just weren't willing to admit it.
Right.
Us as a partnership had peaked. We were no longer growing. We were maintaining. I jokingly say we were staying together for the kids. Mm-hmm. We loved each other, but we were no longer in love with what we were doing and how we were doing it. So we go and start this agency in 2022. The company we were with were no longer in growth mode. The division we were running wasn't really in growth mode, it was in maintain mode. The mortgage industry was entering one of the worst of 5 consecutive years it was going to enter.
Yeah.
And insurance was at its worst inflection point in probably a decade as well. So it's not that owning an insurance agency that's adjunct to your mortgage operation is a bad idea. It's just, it was a bad idea for us because the mortgage operation that we were attaching to, us included, we're no longer in growth mode and timing comes to play. It wasn't the right time for insurance. It wasn't the right time for mortgage. And it sure as hell wasn't the right time in my partnership or the right time in the company that I was affiliated with.
What's the barrier to entry for homeowners insurance? Like price and licensing. Like what's the barrier to entry for that?
Yeah, you know what? So we kind of bought into one of these franchises.
Yeah.
So
you bought?
Yeah, we bought it.
Okay.
We bought into a franchise. So this company was always going to get a portion of our proceeds, our net revenue, and even our book value. But we went in probably about $120,000. We probably put in about $30-40,000 a piece, and lost it as quick as I can lose $100 on the craps table. We pulled out of that venture within 7 to 9 months.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it just.
And why did it lose in 2022? Like versus 2012 when you should have started
I
it?
mean, 2012 was because the positivity, like homeowners insurance wasn't an issue.
Right.
The mortgage market was on the upswing, not the downswing. The sentiment inside of the office was that of positivity. I think we had more gusto as operators. That insurance agency in 2022, we couldn't find and keep a decent licensed sales agent.
Yeah.
And
that's probably a big part of it.
And I don't think either one of us had the energy
Yeah.
to, manage that. Yeah, it wasn't a bad idea. I think it was a good idea. I just think timing didn't play into it. We weren't ready for it. The Florida mortgage market wasn't ready for it, and the Florida insurance market wasn't ready for it. And potentially we didn't have the energy for it.
Is there any regulation on a mortgage company being a homeowner's insurance company?
Yeah, I mean,
are they allowed?
They were two separate entities. And,
No, I know.
And we
for
definitely
you.
had to have an affiliated business relationship disclosure.
Right.
So every time that we disclosed a mortgage loan,
Yeah.
every borrower, whether they got a quote from our insurance agency or they didn't,
Yeah.
every borrower had to fill out a document and says, I acknowledge that company X, mortgage company X, has a affiliated relationship with company Z.
Got it.
So that if you use company Z, that the people who work at the mortgage company could also make money
Nice.
on people at the insurance. So we definitely had to disclose it. But no, our licensed insurance agent, she worked for the insurance company.
Yeah.
And our loan officers worked for the mortgage company.
Makes
and
sense.
our loan officers weren't compensated when they referred, and our processors weren't compensated. But our loan officers and our processors aren't compensated when they refer any insurance agency.
Yeah.
Right? Like my buddies over at Urban Young do a great job, and my mortgage friends are constantly referring them.
Yeah.
You get people over at Goosehead that they do a good job of, and they get referrals. Rarely, you can't. RESPA prevents it. But it's just like having that in-house person was supposed to be a service value.
It is.
Right? Well,
I think it is to the consumer.
Yeah, it was, and we as the owner operators
Mm-hmm.
were supposed to have benefited long term from it. It just we did so at a time when it just didn't make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, in hindsight.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
that one's cool. So now this is really close to home because this is.
But by the way, would
yeah.
I do it again?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Would you do it again?
like would I do it again? Yes.
Yeah.
I think in the right market, with the right volume, you have to do enough volume.
Would you buy book of business again, or would you?
No, I didn't
or
buy book of business.
You bought into.
Yeah, I would do that again because I'm not an insurance guy. I'm
All right.
not an insurance guy. I don't want to.
You
want to
take it from the ground up, get the licensing.
Hell
and
to the
hire.
no.
Okay.
No, man. P is one of my favorite words. I'm sorry. Partnership is one of my favorite words. Starts with P.
Yeah.
Right. Party is another one. I love to
Yeah.
party. I love
Yeah.
partnerships.
Yeah.
Right. Paris. I love going to Paris. I'm
Yeah.
sure we can name some more words that start with P that I love. But those are three right there, right?
Pause.
So
I wanted to say it, but I was like,
Pause.
you dirty mind. Pause. Yeah, pause. I like the word pause. Yeah, that's a good one too.
I feel like my face is red.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
that's a good one too, guys. But you dirty minds. I don't know where you're going with this.
That was her.
So
No, it
pause.
wasn't. You started laughing first.
So anyhow, I would look to a partner.
Yeah.
Like that's an advice I give to anybody. Like, no, do mortgages really well.
Yeah.
Do mortgages really well. We did mortgages really well. I then had to find an insurance agency that would let me buy in and be a partner to them.
Yep.
Like a joint venture or some kind of a franchise.
Yeah.
And they handled the back office. They helped find and train the insurance agent. They had all the carriers. All we had to do was feed the machine and manage and mentor the sales rep.
Yeah.
Like that was what we were there to do. And again, I had 9 branches. We had 75 originators. The goal was we're doing enough transactions that this person should be able to capture 10 or 15 policies a month. Over time, especially with cross-selling those homeowners insurance and auto insurance, 3, 5, 7 years down the road, we're going to have a book of business worth millions of dollars.
Right.
And for our originators, it was just a convenience. For our processors, it was a convenience.
Yeah.
So if you're looking at opening up your own insurance agency, I would say look for a partner because you need to do mortgage well.
Yep.
But at the same time, make sure you do enough volume and you're doing enough loans that it makes sense. It won't make sense if you're just doing a couple loans personally a month. You got to be running an operation that's doing 50 to 100 loans a month, at which point you could potentially look at having some kind of a sister affiliated business such as homeowners insurance or even title insurance. But the answer to your question is yes, I would do it again.
Yeah.
Even though I lost on that, I don't dislike the idea or the strategy. Real estate investment. Why do I keep my real estate investment company open and operating? Because I still believe in it long term.
Right.
I just have to lick my wounds, learn my lessons, and then we're going to kind of build back better, but this time based on all the experience that we've gained over the past 6 years.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I love that. And like real estate investment for me, like my granddad, big over in England. I mean,
Okay.
shopping.
Wait, how are you? You're British? I thought you were Italian,
Nah,
dude.
he's my granddad. Not by blood. He was my neighbor when we were 2 years old. His vacation house was next to us. And he kind of took me under his wing, and he's one of my mentors. And he has shopping plazas, apartment complexes, like you name it. He built his life on real estate and retired very young.
Yeah.
So like real estate investment, like near and dear, like that's close to my heart.
Yes.
That's awesome.
I mean, look, I look forward to the day that we as TLOP own our own building.
Oh, yeah. Can't
Right,
wait.
and there's definitely some right ways to do it, but those that have wealth, they tend to buy and hold.
Yeah,
They
absolutely.
don't fix and flip.
Hodl.
Yes. What?
Oh.
Hodl. The hell?
Yeah, we're into the meme phase when, like in 2020, when stocks were really hot and people were just day trading and flipping. All these memes came about. I was just talking to Mark about this, and like one of the memes was hodl, and you were typing so fast in the forums that you said hodl instead of hold.
Oh.
So it became this big meme, and it's a guy drooling, and he's saying hodl instead of hold.
Like
anyway,
hold the stock or
yeah, hold the stock.
Okay.
Yep.
Interesting. No.
Yeah, very funny.
I was today years old when I learned about hodl.
All right. Well,
what's
how
next
about,
on your list?
Yeah. How about TLOP? Right. Let's talk about TLOP because
okay, TLOP the business.
man, talk about the last year and a half. Like
Yes.
transformation. Like I'm sure your strategy's changed. I know you had money in before Steven and I got involved. Like, and now we're doing a lot better and we're getting some momentum. Let's talk about TLOP.
Well, I think my lesson for TLOP is really a lesson I learned when I woke up one day, probably 2018, 2019, and I was at Waterstone Mortgage. I mean, great memories, awesome humans. Those people are like my family.
Yeah.
Right? Like still today I look back and like some of the best years of my life I got to share with these men and women. Like how grateful am I?
Yeah.
But man, I woke up one day and I realized that I was one of a dozen people, maybe 2 dozen, that helped build that company from 400 million in volume a year. Like we didn't have our Fannie, our Freddie, our Jenny. We didn't have our freaking full Eagle for those that know what that means. Okay. Didn't even have a full-time underwriter when we started.
Yeah.
Like our one underwriter, shout out to Laura Zabini, was an MGIC contract underwriter. Then we had this lady, Judy, who was a part-time VA underwriter, right? Those were our 2 underwriters.
Yeah.
And from 2008 all the way to 2000 and let's just say 19, built that company from 400 million a year to almost 3 billion in volume.
Wow.
Right at the time, top 50 lender in America. Now, unfortunately, I don't think they're even in the top 100.
Wow.
But 2018, 2019, and one day I woke up, and I think it may have been at the time that their founder and CEO, Eric Egenhofer, who's now over at Novus Home Mortgage, was resigning, and he was moving on with his career. And I woke up one day and I realized I got to be a part of this. How fortunate am I? Look at the money I've made, the experiences, the people, the resume. But homeboy, I ain't got no equity.
Mm-hmm.
I have no stock options. I have no profit share.
Yeah.
In fact, because I was a P&L branch, they didn't even contribute to my 401k.
Wow.
That came out of my own P&L. So I could either distribute it to myself as an override, or I could pay it to myself as a 401k match.
Yeah.
Right? But still today, that gets under my skin. Now, that's not their fault. That's my fault.
Yeah.
I allowed that to happen. I didn't know any better. So, as the story goes, I resigned from Waterstone in 2004 to go join Lower.
Yeah.
Right? Love the guys and girls over at Lower.
2024.
2024. Yeah, 2024.
Got it.
Yeah, and and one of the things that brought me to Lower was in my mind, I'm like, look, there's going to be some opportunities for maybe some profit share, maybe for some stock options, maybe the company goes public. I can be a part of that. Like, maybe I can negotiate some equity, whatever the case may be. This company's in hyper growth mode. They want to like represent the future of mortgage lending. And So that was enticing. And that was what I was there for. But what I realized, and I couldn't have realized this before I left Waterstone, but when I went to Lower, I realized, Dustin, you're chasing equity. You're chasing profit share. You're chasing a company you can build and scale.
Yes.
And you're trying to keep on doing so through someone else's vision, someone else's dream. And you're doing something that you're really good at, that pays you really well. But for the most part, you've kind of reached as high as you can go without starting your own mortgage company.
Right.
So the decision to go all in on TLOP was my decision to go all in on something that I was going to have the majority of the equity.
Yep.
Right? That was the decision. So so I'm excited about TLOP because I'm 60% owner, right? Like Mike owns 15%,
Yep.
Steven owns 15%, Mark has earned 15%, and my co-founder,
5.
JC.
And JC.
Oh, yeah. I'm
Mark's
sorry, but
5.
Mike earned his 5, and my co-founder, John Coleman, JC, he's got 5%.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and by the way, y'all, my lesson I learned, the reason why Mike has 15% and Steven has 15% is that a slice of watermelon is better than a whole grape.
Yeah.
I couldn't afford more of Steven and I couldn't afford more of Mike. But what I had was vision, I had traction, and I needed more of them.
Yeah.
And I would rather own 60% of a company that is worth $20 million in 7 years
Yep.
than own 90% of a company
100%.
that's worth $3 million.
I agree. Yeah,
Right?
wholeheartedly. Yeah.
And that's kind of the direction. And I realized I can't get to the places I want to go. We can't serve the number of lenders,
Yeah.
the number of originators. Like we can't do what we want to do in the media space, in the selling ads on the show space, even the career advisory space without you and your background, without Steven and his background.
Yep.
And this is a space where I think it's going to be AI proof.
100%.
Like I think coaching, I think consulting and training, especially the way that we do it from a sales and marketing standpoint, this is the one thing that the robots will need the humans to do at a high level.
Well, even like the product itself, like humanizing the product, like Coach on Call was a big deal. You know?
Yes.
Like having that direct human interaction as part of the product was big for us.
I just got this from someone who just joined our community. They came from another coaching program, and and I know the guy that owns that coaching company, and he's a freaking like big name in the industry. He's someone that shaped me 25 years ago.
Yeah.
But they straight up said, like, yeah, you guys are what's relevant. You guys are who are cool. You guys are who I resonate with. But I said, more importantly, you guys are who I have access to.
Yep.
I said, the other place, I didn't have access to those coaches.
Right.
And you guys do calls every Tuesday, but the coaches make themselves available during the call, both before and after.
Yep.
And then we do sales trainings, and I make myself available, especially after the call, for as long as I need to. And then we have Coach on Call Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So yeah, this company I'm excited about. And look, full disclosure, I'm doing something I love to do, something I'm good at. And I think I can make the same amount of money as I would make if I'm running $1 billion division. I can make the same amount of money if I was doing $100 million in personal production. Now, can I do all things TLOP plus run $1 billion division plus do $100 million in personal production? Hell to the no.
Right.
I can't. I learned that lesson the hard way. I cannot be the CEO of 3 companies.
Right.
I can own 10 companies, but I can only be the CEO of 1. And by the way, I'm not even the CEO of TLOP.
No, you
like
were.
Steven is.
Yeah,
I'm founder and president.
Yep.
Steven is CEO. Mike is
Correct.
CMO. Mark is COO.
Yep.
But, we'll do 7 figures of revenue this year. We'll triple it next year.
Yeah.
And then we'll do one more double up. Like, we have a pro forma. We have the data.
There's a ton of value in it. It's a good product. We have a huge following because of the podcast, right? So the platform was there. I mean, over the years, like you've built $1 billion division. So your networking really gave us reach in the industry. I think we're going to the moon, right? We got the Unite cruise coming up. I think that's giving us great exposure.
Yes. It's great for branding, by the way. Like the cruise has been
100%.
phenomenal for branding. But here's something else that I've learned along the way as well. Like I talk about being able to sell this company, whether it's for $7 million, $17 million, or $25 million.
I'm good with 10.
You're good with 10?
Yeah, if anybody wants to put a bid out there.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, if we're talking today money,
Yeah.
I think today money, you could get me off of this couch for 7,
Yeah.
and I would even let you do 3 of it in your own company stock.
Oh,
right?
that's creative.
Yeah. Like if whether it was a lower or a pylon lending or a
Right.
housing wire type
Yeah,
company
right.
came to us and said, hey, I want to buy y'all.
Yeah.
I think at this point in my life, I think you could get me off the couch. I'm not saying I'm going to commit to it.
Yeah.
But the problem is if you ask me a year from now, no, that number is easily 10
Yeah.
because I see the revenue and the impact. And for me, it's both. It's impact first, revenue second.
Yeah.
I do something I'm passionate about, I think I'm good at, and I love to do, and I think our industry drastically needs it. But no, this is what I was going to tell the audience. But please know I'm not so blind to all of this that in order for me to sell, it can't be about Dustin Owen.
If you're a licensed originator who's closing loans, but you're not consistent, this is for you. If you're brand new or just looking for motivation, trust me, this is not for you. Most LOs don't need more information. They need structure. They need proven processes and somebody to hold them accountable. T-Lob's Originator Coaching gives you weekly live coaching, scripts top producers actually use, and step-by-step business systems you can implement immediately. Not someday, we're talking day one. You're not watching videos alone. You're executing in real time with other originators who take this seriously. Right now, you can try it free for 2 weeks. That's 2 full weeks for free. You'll sit in on live coaching calls. You'll get access to the frameworks and see exactly how top producers run their business. If it creates clarity, if it creates momentum, or even if it puts wins on the board, you keep going. If it doesn't, no worries, you can cancel. No pressure at all. Click the link, start the 2-week trial, and finally, build this like a business, not a side hustle.
Right? That's going to be our mission over the next 3, 5,
Well,
and
we
7
just discussed
years,
this.
is
What did I
that-
ask? I asked you at our barbecue.
Yeah.
Who?
Yeah, if I
would
died
be-
tomorrow,
If you died tomorrow, who would be our successor? Like, who can we onboard
PJ
in the
Crescenzo,
industry?
Chris Clock.
Well, first of all,
Like, those are your first 2 phone calls.
I had lunch with PJ personally. I love PJ.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Chris Clock, talked to him for a minute. Seemed like a great guy, too.
Yeah.
So, great picks.
It's guys like that.
Yeah, we need to invest
but
in-
it's also reaching out to Coach Brian and Coach Gwen.
100%.
And asking them how much they want to be a part of this. They're phenomenal coaches. I don't
Yeah.
know how much they want to be a part of, like, hey, I'm going to own, operate, and run this coaching business.
Yeah.
But the goal is this. In 5 to 7 years, it cannot be the DO show.
Exactly.
Right? It's going to have to be about the courses, the curriculum, the database, the following.
Absolutely.
Like, and
It
that's
needs to be a company. It needs to be a machine. It needs to be its own brand outside of DO.
potentially products, right? Even products
Potentially
that
products.
you may create, whether they're CRM products or marketing products, or
And that's like us being really transparent.
Girl,
Right now
1000%.
with the audience.
Yeah,
So,
I only have one other way. I think you have a couple more on
okay,
there.
no. All right, so let's rapid fire at the end.
Okay.
We're way over time, I'm sure. Like,
Where are we sitting,
We're
Karina?
at 45 minutes.
yeah,
Okay,
okay,
yeah,
cool.
we'll
So
find
we got
5 or
5
7,
minutes.
yeah.
Yeah. All right, so let's do kind of angel investments. Would
In
you
general.
include like G&G under that?
No, I would not include
okay.
G&G and angel investment. But
Got it.
You know, like people, college kids love it. Oh, Mr. Dustin. I'm like, please don't call me that. I'm like, you can call me Dustin. You can call me D-Ho. Do not call me Mr.
I have a custom gumball generator for that's gluten free. Can I get $2,000?
No,
the only
it's
way I
not
can get off the
that.
ground.
No, it's not that.
Okay.
They're the opposite. Dude, I want to be an angel investor. I'm like, bro, you're not even close. Like, you have to be,
okay.
first you have to be a qualified investor.
Yeah.
Right. So a qualified investor means you make at least X per year, or you have at least Y in liquid assets. Right. Like, first you start by being angel investing is not for the faint of heart. It's for people who have money to lose.
Right.
Like, that's what it's for.
Yeah.
2 in 10 will actually pay out. That means 8 in 10 don't.
Yeah.
Not 1 in 5. You can go 0 for 5.
Yeah, they'll take that as a nice write-off on their taxes, and
Yes.
yeah, they were going to lose that money anyway to the government.
Yeah. So when you do an angel investment, I've done a dozen of them.
Yeah.
Right. We brag about Fat Merchant because it was the unicorn.
It was the one that hit.
And I may never see another Fat Merchant again. Right. But I may see some that,
G&G.
I turned 25. I turned 25 grand into 150.
Yeah.
Right. I turned 50 grand into 300. But I might have plenty where I turned 50 into 0.
Right.
I turned 25 into 0. So what I like to do is I earmark some money. Like, let's take that 900 that I made from fat, I took 300 and put it to the side. That's house money. I take that 300 and I spread it amongst a dozen companies.
Right.
When I get a win, I pay myself back my capital. Then I take whatever I made and I reinvest that.
Yep.
So, and that's what I've been able to do. So, I mean, I'm in a video game right now that I freaking love this video game. Love it. Just found out, yeah, they ran out of money.
Oh, no.
They ran out of money.
Are they second rounding or they're shutting down?
They're not doing anything. We're kind of stuck in purgatory.
Damn.
Badass video game. It was like Brazilian jiu-jitsu dojo fighting meets like The Sims. Oh yeah, and it was
crazy.
so cool.
It's wild.
But yeah, like I got stuff like that. I got a company that sent us a congratulations email.
Yeah.
Congratulations, we're being acquired. It's amazing. Except for there wasn't enough money coming in that we were going to actually even recoup our initial investment. So I lost my 25
For
grand.
the listeners, are you signed up to different newsletters or forums or like
Look,
how are you getting the deals?
Because
That's
local network. Okay.
all right. The listeners want to know like
local
how are
network.
you getting a video game opportunity?
I live in Orlando, Florida. There's a local group of us. And by the way,
Cool.
if I didn't have my own local group, there are like not full funnel. There's
like
two-
on Facebook, like a Facebook group, or
they're usually every market has a couple local like small angel investing groups that you can be a part of.
Cool.
They may have a minimum of like you need to give at least $100,000. Then they take your $100,000 and spread it amongst maybe 4 or 5 different investments.
That's cool.
And yeah, so like there's Fulcrum. Fulcrum is one here in Orlando.
Oh
Florida.
yeah, I've heard of that. Okay.
So there's those, and you can hear about it from certain wealth advisors or other high net worth individuals, right? Like you start changing the circles that you run in, then you'll start changing your thought processes and how big you're willing to think.
Yeah.
But for me, my buddy Charlie, who was a part of the initial Fat Merchant, so that we have a group of us that kind of all got into this thing together.
Yeah.
And then with that money said, oh, what else can we do? Charlie runs a recruiting agency that recruits specifically computer programmers and data scientists.
Yeah.
So his clients are the Fat Merchants of the world.
Oh, nice.
So when his clients are coming to him and they're needing to hire another programmer, another data scientist, he's like, oh, tell me more about your business.
Yeah.
Oh, where are you guys in funding? Are you raising any more money?
Yeah.
And at that standpoint, like he gets involved. There's various pitch contests that you can go to and be a part of. So, but for me, it was timing, right place, right time, being willing to take a meeting, to hear a guy out, and then being willing to take a risk with money that I could afford to lose. And then doing it consistently, understanding, like I love data. I love numbers. Numbers don't lie. People lie. Numbers don't lie.
Yeah.
So if you tell me 2 and 10 and I'm not in 10 investments, I can't anticipate making money.
Yeah.
But if you tell me 2 and 10 hit, I need to be in 10. That means I probably need a minimum of $150,000 to $300,000 to play ball because I want to take that 150 to 300 and spread it amongst 10 different investments. But typically I have to do it in a group setting because some of these companies have minimum investments of, let's say, $100,000 or $250,000. So it's not my 15 or my 25. It's my 15 plus your 15 plus Karina's 50. Collectively, we'll raise 150 to 250. The most we've ever raised is $1 million. So my group has put together $1 million and gone in pretty heavy on one particular angel investment.
Well, I could tell you, I raised $950,000 on G&G Fleet Service, and I raised $500,000 for G&G Fleet Supply. Dude, it is hard raising money.
Yeah.
It is not easy.
Yeah.
Like, you got to really put yourself out there and be the person. You're the face. Like, I had to qualify myself, right, as an operator and the business, the financials. So.
And you're talking about a company that you were just buying and taking over that was 25 years old.
Correct.
Like, imagine having an idea that you originated in your dorm room 5 years ago and you've been incubating for the past 2.
Well, Fat Electric Golf Carts, I did the same thing, and I lost about $100,000 of my own money, and I lost $115,000 of investment money. So
yeah,
been there too. Not
yeah.
fun.
No, but
Yeah.
it's part of business.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
You can't hit home runs if you're afraid to strike out.
Yeah, 100%.
You also can't hit home runs if you're afraid to get hit by the ball.
Right.
Like if you're not willing to stand in that batter's box and let a pitcher wing a ball at you 95 miles an hour, like then you're not going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
So that comes with the territory.
What
yeah.
to round the whole thing
Yeah.
out, because I know we're short on time. What does the future hold? Where are you looking in the future?
Here's what I love right now, and I love the fact that, look, the universe brought you and Steven and I together. Steven, for those that don't know, is one of the first LOs I ever hired.
Yeah, wild.
Right?
Full
then,
circle.
Yeah, and then Steven left the mortgage industry when he was about 25 or 26.
Yeah.
After 3 years, and started a construction company, turned into a roofing company.
Wait, I did not know that.
What?
Yeah.
That
You didn't know Steven was an LO?
No.
Yes.
Dude, Steven used to show me the handbooks and stuff. Like, he'd
Yeah.
be like, man,
Oh
this is
my
the best
God, that's
process.
so cool. I didn't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
then
Steven
Steven
was
went
one
on
of
to
the
build
first-
a $72 million roofing company.
Yeah. So Steven went on to build a roofing
Wow.
company.
Yeah,
But what's
man.
cool about the story is I didn't know any of this. He used the playbook I used to give all of my sales team. He used that playbook with his original sales team on how to go out and sell and
On the
market for
roofing.
roofs.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. And then he
Totally
told me
swiped
he
it.
ran his sales meetings like I used to run my sales meetings.
Yep.
Right.
And
The
then
wolf,
he would.
did you do the wolf thing, or was that him? Or was that,
No, I didn't do the wolf thing.
oh, wolf of the week?
No.
Oh, okay, never mind. But
No.
he did take most of your playbook, so this
Yeah.
was something that was his,
That's
I guess.
so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's how Steven and I were
awesome.
originally connected. Then we got reconnected when he was selling the company.
Right.
Yep.
Right. But so the universe brought Steven and I together. And what people don't know is, Steven's roofing company really scaled when he brought Mike in to do their marketing.
Yep.
Right. Mike starts doing their marketing, starts doing some of their EOS, right? Their
All the
entrepreneur.
ops.
Yeah, the entrepreneur operating
I literally
system.
was chief of operations for a minute. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then Steven introduced me to Mike, and then Steven still keeps hanging out, and eventually I get my claws into you. And I'm like, the first time I met Mike, I literally offered him equity in the company.
Yeah,
we were
like-
out of Starbucks, and he was
Yeah.
like, hey, bro, why don't you slow down?
John was like,
That's a
I
little
don't know, man,
fast.
He,
dude.
he,
Like,
goes, he goes, I don't kiss on the first date.
yeah.
Yeah, it took over a year and a half before Mike actually got the equity that I was
Yeah.
willing to offer him day one.
Yep.
Yeah, I recognize something to Mike. I'm like, I need what he has, and that's not me.
Right.
But yes, so
cool.
so what we're doing now that I'm super excited about is, and I can only do this because of the team. Like, I couldn't do this without Mike, and I wouldn't want to do this without Steven. But I'm looking at the world, and I'm saying, okay, what's around us? Well, I'm looking at all of these boomer businesses, and it's not just me. Like this is a topic that gets discussed a lot, especially with the MBA students right now. Like, this is kind of a hot button for them. The problem with the MBA student, most of them don't have real world experience. They're 24, 25, and they're like, yeah, this is what I'm going to do. And maybe they'll figure it out. I hope they do. But you find a boomer business, typically blue collar, something that is for the most part AI proof. You have an owner operator that is somewhere about 10 to 15 years into their career. They're amazing executors. They're great technicians, but they probably don't know a lick about EOS. They don't know a lick about marketing. They've never been formally sales trained. What they know is for what they do, they're really good at it, and people love to hire them to do it. But they're working 6-7 days a week. They're probably making $90,000 to $150,000 a year, and they have no retirement and no exit strategy. Well, what I want to be able to do is come in with my team, because I couldn't do this alone, and say, wait a minute, why haven't you scaled? Well, they don't know a thing about marketing. They don't have a website. They don't have a sales process. Okay, what else do they not have? Well, they don't really have capital. Okay, what else do they not have? Their books are probably a little bit messy. Okay, what else do they not have? Systems, processes, SOPs, checklists. All right, cool. We're not looking to buy this company, and we're not looking to invest in a startup. These are established entities, but here's what we're looking to do. We want to come in $30,000 to $75,000. We want to invest into the company. We want to take over your books. We want to take over your marketing, build out your website, use that capital, usually on people. If not people, then on ad spend or on some of the technology we need to purchase or build. And we want to scale you. And we're scaling you for one reason and one reason only, and that's to sell. But if you're 52 or 57 and you're trying to exit sometime between 59 and 67 years old, we are what you need. We don't want to take over your company. We need you. We need you for the most part running this company. We're just going to be your consultants, your advisors, and now your partners. So typically we'll take anywhere between 20 to 40% of the equity in terms of like profit distribution. But then here's our big thing. We're going to evaluate the company up front. Let's say the company's worth $1 million today. Cool. We're going to scale it and grow it to where we can sell it for $5 million. When we sell it for $5 million, we reduce that valuation. The owner operator gets the first $1 million because that's what the company was worth when we bought in. However, the delta, the $4 million that's left, we split 50-50. Right. So if we can do this times 10, the goal would be to have 10 companies that are generating some kind of a consistent revenue. Let's say it's just 30,000 a year times 10, that's 300 grand.
Yeah.
That's 300 grand of passive income that the entity that Mike, Steven, and I own are being able to get. But then if the 10 companies sell for, on average, let's just say $3.5 million, let's say that's 35 million, and let's just say our take of that is 15 million, then we're able to, cash flow every single year, but also have some kind of an exit that produces roughly $5 million a piece.
Yeah, and it's at least a 2 to 3 year play on this, right? Because
easily.
That process to get the market share alone. I mean, you like you said, the SOPs, the CMS that needs to be put in place, the marketing funnels, like the infrastructure has to be built. It's a 2 to 3 year play, so it's not like we're putting money in and flipping the thing in a year. But,
no, I mean we're going to pick up a pest control company that, let's say, today's worth 500,000.
Yeah,
like we'll get that thing up to 3.5, but it may take us 7 years.
Exactly.
And at 3.5 million, then we can exit it. Now the owner operator keeps the first half, but then there's a 3 that we're going to split.
Yep.
Right. Yeah. So on that one, maybe we only picked up 1.5 million divided by 3, but we just got $500,000. The better part is that company for those 7 years was spitting off some kind of a profit.
Yeah.
And we usually are able to get our initial capital back within 3 to 4 years.
And what's cool about us, because I know, again, like the listener
Yes.
probably is wondering, how do I find that? Like, how do I find deals like this? For us, it's our network. It's our friends. It's, family. Like
Mike's past clients, friends, family, customers.
Exactly.
Like,
it's our network between this group. It's a great group of people.
I share this on the main stage all the time. Your net worth is the sum of your network.
Yes.
Okay. I have made a living being everyone's friend.
Yes.
Being
Absolutely.
at every event, looking to provide value.
Yeah.
Right. Saying yes when someone asks me for a favor, it has yet to backfire on me.
Yep.
And I can't imagine it ever will. So it makes it easy when you're constantly in conversation, and you also have to turn on your reticular activator and look for it.
Yeah.
The minute you start looking for it, you're like, oh, those opportunities are all around you if you're just willing to ask or to insert yourself into the conversation. So we're way over time, y'all. This was super fun, though. Great suggestion, Mike. Thank you, Kelly, for the inspiration.
Yes.
Y'all, make sure you're commenting below if you're on YouTube. If you ever want to get a hold of me, I'm super easy to contact. I'm on LinkedIn. First name Dustin, last name Owen. If you're ever curious about our coaching that we do for the mortgage industry, we offer a 14-day trial to anybody who wants it.
Yeah.
You just have to go to our website, tloponline.com, tloponline.com, and go to our coaching section. That's where you can sign up for your free 14-day trial. And make sure you're giving us a follow on Instagram, because we're constantly posting cool content like clips from this show as well as other pieces almost daily. He's Mike. She's Karina. I'm Dustin. You've just tuned in to Loan Officer Podcast. That's all the time we have for you today, but we look forward to catching you on the next episode. Peace.